Hi, welcome to Start Select. This video we'll be talking about the news, gaming news in October, and I am joined by Adam. How you doing, Adam?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. What about you, and how you doing?
I'm sweet.
Right, cool. I actually want to kick off this video with Cyberpunk. It's always in the news. It'll be every month, but this time during this month, we got told they are doing crunch time, even though they promised us that they weren't going to do crunch time. And then he sent out, like a PR tweet saying, "Look, we're going to try and organize the crunch time, or like make it so it's not as bad." But it was still there. A lot of people kicked off. It was what it is. What it is. So they went through that. The game went gold, and I've never seen a game go gold and then later get delayed. It was delayed an extra 21 days. It's not the biggest delay, but it is a delay nevertheless. So I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, we've got a game that went gold, but it's not actually gone gold because it's been delayed. And then also we had crunch time to stop it getting delayed, and it gets delayed anyway. I mean, what do you guys think about this?
I think ultimately, if they don't feel that it's finished, then they need to sort of hold it back.
Right.
I've actually heard that the next gen version is ready to go. They're just trying to bring up the current gen up to scratch.
No, you are right. I've heard the exact same like sources. Like basically, it's the current gen that's holding it back, like the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 sort of thing. What about you, Adam?
Most people still only have like PS4s and Xbox One, so you need to cater for the people who have the most.
Well, yeah, they've advertised it for all like different platforms, aren't they? So.
I agree with everything Anthony said. To be fair, the other thing I've got an issue with is, again, I think I've mentioned it before on other videos, but like, I wish game developers would stop saying we're releasing this game in, when was it originally meant to be released?
April.
April, yeah. Um, why? Why? I get they couldn't predict what's happened now, but this isn't unusual for. I mean, obviously, a game at this level, it is unusual for it to get delayed like this. But even still, just say it's going to be January 2021, and then if the game's finished before that period, bring forward the release date. I don't know, obviously, the logistics in terms of marketing and stuff. I get that, but I don't know if you guys have seen all the posts on Reddit and other social media sites where it's like the Walmart's in America and stuff have still got the banners up with the release date, the original release date. Like GameStop still have all the
Yeah.
POS stuff out that's got the original release date, and it's just like, why do it? I agree with Anthony. Don't crunch them to death. Like, you want a good game, you want it to be done right. I get it does need to cater for the previous gen or the current gen. If they did release it just on next gen, I think that would be an issue. A lot of people would kick off, and probably more than if they just delayed it for everyone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just don't give yourself the room for that error. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, you've actually kind of answered my next question that I was going to throw to you guys because crunch has been a big part of gaming for the last 2 years, and it's definitely been taking the spotlight like a lot more lately. And is there a way around crunch time? Because crunch time is not fun for anyone, especially if you're a developer and stuff like that. But what is the cure? Like, what is the answer for crunch time? Because at the same time, I can understand the other side of it, whether it'll be a strong argument or not. But I can see it, and that is we have spent this amount of money on advertisements. We cannot change this release date, if you know what I mean. We have to get this game out on this day. But what do you think, Alan? Because I think I kind of agree with Adam, and I think he kind of answered for me as well. Is I think they need to stop putting a very strict release date window and just kind of make it a bit more bigger. I mean, what's your feelings about like crunch time in today's gaming? It's if it comes to
You know,
Cyberpunk as well.
considering I've just like played the Avengers, look what Crunch and then they've absolutely ruined it. So
Spoilers.
I'd say what I think they need to be a bit more, liberal with the timings. Like initially, they
Yeah.
need to like when they know 100% we can get it out for this date, then start releasing dates.
Yeah.
But they need to sort of release. They need to like what tends to be happening is like before. It seems as if like before productions even began, it's like right, you've got a year to do this game, and it's like shit, we need to like do it. Whereas like they need to like start the game, and then maybe like a year in, go, when they're going to be ready, and
Mm-hmm.
then give a date.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree with both of you. I think that's like the best. There's no like absolutely right answer, but I think that's like the right direction to go in terms of crunch because I think it will come again with the next game or whatever games the big coming out next month or next year. But it is what it is. It's not. It's
It's
not right. But
unavoidable. Like it's
yeah,
we're offering up these solutions, but no one's going to listen to it. They're going to carry on with the crunch.
yeah,
I don't understand it because I don't know if you guys remember, but Games Master used to have like an old gaming magazine, which I know you both know, it's just in case anyone watching didn't realise. But Games Master used to have a section where it had featured upcoming games or new releases or games out in the next kind of year. And I remember it used to just say Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, 2010 or whatever. And it was like, that was fine. That was enough for us. We knew it
had
was going to be,
was it TBA?
yeah, TBA. Yeah,
TBA
yeah.
now. Like they didn't give us a date. It was like it'll be released somewhere in the next 12 months. And like, all right, cool.
And
Are
I
you
think
that?
you've hit the nail on the head there, aren't you, as well, with
I
games like...
don't know any fans that are going like, no, I want my game now. Most fans,
there's some out.
most
But yeah, I
fans
agree.
accept that like I want a finished game. I'd rather have the game in a year's time finished rather than now. And you know, guys are glitching through the fucking roof.
That's the key issue though, and I think you're right. Like the problem with all this is not only do fans get frustrated when games get delayed, but also you just get unfinished products, and you'll get, oh yeah, we'll release DLC to fix it in the first few months, or we'll do this, and games will die on launch because they're so unplayable. I can't think of any off the top of my head now, but I know there's been a few over the past few years which have died a death on launch, and then 2 years later have been the game that they were meant to be when they should have got released.
No Man's Sky and stuff.
No more.
Yeah, yeah. And No Man's
Sea of
Sky was a big
Thieves,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
No, no.
there's too much reliance on this like patch. Like too much like developers know that like we've got patch as an option. Like
Yeah,
patch shouldn't be an option. It should be like no, like the
yeah.
game needs to be
They've
like
delayed
flat
it.
finished. It
I
shouldn't be.
completely
It
agree.
shouldn't have the mindset of like, well, we can just patch that. Like no, like
Mm.
it needs to
Yeah.
be released finished.
No, I think you're right. I do agree with you, Anthony. Like, I think having that, because there's always a day one patch, isn't there, for most games now, and they kind of rely on that. If not, next month's patch, and then they kind of go, "Oh, we release it half done now, and then we'll patch it later. It should be fine." But it hurts the game. I mean, we will get into it later with you, Anthony. And I cannot wait. But uh, the Avengers player base has dropped under 1,000 on the PC, which is insane. And that was about a couple of weeks ago. So who knows what it is now, if it's even more or less than that.
688 at the lowest.
Ooh.
Bad that for a Marvel game like
Marvel
that
game,
as
yeah.
well. That's bad.
But to segue into our next section of this video is we talk about crunch time. Let's talk about the opposite of crunch time. Let's talk about a developer. Let's talk about a studio that has had 5 years, 5 million, 500 million, and they still can't release something. And what I'm referring to, of course, is Halo Infinite. Their head developer, I think it's called Chris Lee, had to leave the studio. He's leaving. He's still working for Microsoft, but he's leaving the Halo Infinite team. This is the second in the last 2 years that the head developer of that game has left. Now, we've seen gameplay. It wasn't impressive to most people. It was kind of lackluster. I think a lot of people were very underwhelmed. I mean, guys, what is going on with the studio?
I think I think I don't know the ins and outs of why he left. I'm sure no one will really know, apart from the inside team. But when they released that trailer for Halo, and everyone was like, "This shit is Halo 2" on the Xbox reveal, I think Microsoft went to him and went, "What the actual fuck are you playing at? Like, what the fuck?" And then some sort of creative spat came out there, and I don't know whether it's Microsoft or his fault. Obviously, Microsoft are doing something, or the developers rather, are doing something wrong to lose two head developers in as many years. It just makes me feel like, what's the? I'm not excited about this game now. I'm really not. It just feels like they kick the can down the road, and they just keep fucking shit up with it.
I mean, I've got to say, it's a big shame overall because it's like I've seen people open the new Xbox Series S on X, knowing like YouTube videos, and on the back of the case, it's got Master Chief. They were ready for that launch title, and I understandably slow. It's been 5 years, that it's been in development, But I don't know if you guys know, but like what the word is with Microsoft with their first party studios is they'll come in every couple of months and they're very hands off. They're very they don't know go I need this, I need this. They go, you do you do this is why we bought you. You just keep doing the best you can do.
That
Now
sounds like a good way of working, to be honest.
it's a brilliant. I think it's a brilliant way. Like I think like it feels nice to have
From the
that.
previous topic, that's how people should be working.
Especially when it comes to like Bethesda, right? Like that's something that we're all looking forward to, and they are just keep doing the games they're doing. Obviously, not Fallout 76, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, hands-off approach. But do you think do you think it's a bit too much hands-off approach? Because the way it comes across to me is, I don't think Microsoft knew how far behind they actually were until maybe like a week or so before the Halo trailer Infinite reveal, and I feel like they were just shell-shocked and like, "Where's our money? What have you been doing at the time? What's going on? We have gave you our biggest mascot on a plate. It like Bungie did the hard work. They created this game. We just need you to carry it on, and it just seems like a mess. Like the whole studio is literally on fire right now. It's just like, what is going on? And they're saying it's going to come out in 21. I don't buy that. I do not buy that 1 second. I think it's coming out at least 2022. I mean, it's
They'll
just
get their Microsoft whips out, yo. That'll be that. They're back to red raw. They won't let them push it back another year. I don't think. I reckon it'll be. We're looking at Q1, maybe Q2 at the latest, but I don't think it'll go beyond like May, April, May.
right. I mean, yeah. I mean, people are saying that maybe it's the campaign because the thing with Halo, where I stand, is it's an absolute dumpster fire from what I've heard behind the scenes and what I can see. But the idea of what they want is very up my. I like Halo. I don't love Halo. Like I think I could play it for a couple months and then go back to Gears of War or whatever the next free to play game is. But I like the open world aspect of it. I like having your character to upgrade, finding optional or like areas of the map. That all sounds cool, but it just doesn't seem like the whole game is intact right now. It just feels like it's nowhere near completion, and it's a shame because it's whether you think Halo's a really good game or think it's okay, like me. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not overly hyped for it, but I am looking forward to it. It's just a shame that it's not going to be here for like at least another year. That's what they're saying, but I'm predicting a lot longer than that. And hopefully, they can get their stuff together. I mean, are you a big fan of Halo, Anthony? I know you used to play it back in the day, but would you see another Halo game?
I do feel like it's kind of Xbox. It's Xbox's mascot, so you would imagine that it'd be on launch. You think that would be a priority for Xbox, like to get a Halo out?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
have they got a Gears of War out on launch?
No, but the last Gears War is only like a year old, to be fair.
No.
They're doing.
They need something. They need like something.
They are releasing
they're doing
Gears.
Gears
Gears of War or a
Yeah.
Halo out for launch. I mean, that's kind of like
You would think,
that's a priority.
learning from the Xbox One mistakes, you would think they would have a lineup that was ready to fucking move, but here we are.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's upsetting to hear that, but we'll have to keep informed. I don't think we'll see that game anytime soon. But something that I am really impressed with is the PlayStation Plus subscription service. Obviously, most people just buy it just so they can play online. You get a couple of free games every month. They're not the best, I'll be honest, but it's never here. Free games are free games, I always say. But lately, they've been cranking it up, and they've been doing. They have impressed me a lot. On the same month of the launch of the PlayStation, they're going to be giving away Bugsnax, which is a PlayStation 5 game. It's not my type of game. It's Colin's type of game. I kind of just want to get that game just to watch Colin play it in a way. But it is a big game, and that's going to be free if you're on the PlayStation subscription. That's really cool. But also, just to go to, I think it's February, the month of February, you're going to be getting Destruction All Stars. Is that right?
Yep. Destruction All Stars will be free to play. I think that's a big game for them. That could be, like their version of Smash or something. I think where they managed to do a game with longevity that can be played in that way. Obviously, we don't know exactly what the gameplay is like yet, but that was for me. I think I mentioned it when we did the video on the PlayStation reveal, but that was one of the big ones for me that stuck out because it just looks so much fun. It looks really good.
Yeah. Have you seen anything on this game, Anthony? Destruction All Stars?
No, I haven't seen much of it really.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'm actually kind of glad you are, just so I can try and like explain it to you because it's hard. I'll be honest, we've not seen gameplay, and that's my biggest issue so far. But from
Isn't,
what we've seen,
isn't one of those Middle Earth game out at the same? Haven't they released one of the Middle Earth games as well?
what do you mean,
On
sorry?
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, is it
Oh,
Shadow of War?
Shadow of War, yeah, the
yeah,
latest
Well,
one.
yeah.
I played that series and that's like really good. So
Well, there was also, I think, like for me personally, like they had Bug Snatch, which was the main game, and then they had like another game. I think it was the one you just mentioned,
yeah,
and then they had Hollow Knights, which to me was the best game of the three for me. But it doesn't have that impact for me. Obviously, it's quite old now. It's been on Game Pass, I think, like 2 years now. I'll be honest, but it is a good game. So if you are on the PlayStation, I definitely recommend downloading a game. But with Destruction All Stars on it, I think it could be a game you could play because it looks like it's about fun. It might have a competitive scene to it once the game comes out, but it looks like it's about fun. We all know it's like a destruction derby kind of
yeah,
driving game, but you can get out your vehicles. I don't know if each character has their own like unique abilities or something that will make you want to pick that character. But or maybe the vehicles themselves will be different enough, for you to want to change between them. But that's kind of all we know really. Like it's gonna be. It looks like it's definitely like a party game. I
Hmm.
I don't know. I think Adam disagrees with me, but I kind of get like vibes of like Smash and like Rocket League sort of thing.
Oh yeah, no, I
Oh,
completely agree with you. I think Destruction Derby Rocket League Smash is probably the best way to describe it.
yeah.
It just looks that these are the games that are doing well now as well. Fall Guys, Among Us, other games that have come out recently where it's just a fun game. It might not have a massive lifespan, but I think this one will.
Mm.
But it's just genuinely like a fun game to play with your mates, and it'll be fun to watch on Twitch and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think I'm like you, Adam. It's one of those games that I'm really looking forward to. It's not like a big AAA title, but it's one of those games that I can see myself constantly playing consistently, like throughout a couple of weeks and months. We just need to see that gameplay.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that's annoying me because I kind of thought something was up, and like the fact that it was supposed to come out on launch and we're not seeing anything is a bit weird. But it is for free. I can't wait. That's like I said, PlayStation Plus. They are improving, and they are kind of like it's not quite on that Game Pass level, but they are trying. Considering the other services that they're providing that Xbox aren't, it's not bad at all. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with you. The other thing I wanted to speak about was the Nintendo Direct, which kind of got shadow dropped. Was it a week or two ago?
Yes.
The main games I seen. Let me know if you saw any different ones as well. There was Bravely Default 2, which kind of looks like a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, if you guys remember that game.
Yeah, I do.
yeah,
Um, it looks quite interesting. Like I said, I don't know if it'll be a full price game. I can't tell right now, but I think it looks cool. It's like that Japanese chibi style. It looks like you've got jobs and roles, and there's loads of different characters. So I think that'd be interesting. The other one I was surprised about was Surviving the Aftermath, which is I think it's out spring next year, and it's a real-time strategy game. Do you know like Age of Empires, that sort of
Yeah.
thing? Which I
Yeah.
think could work really well as a handheld Switch game. I think that would
Yeah.
work really
Oh
well.
God.
And
Yeah.
if they do it well, then I'll be all over that. I think that'd be a great game. The biggest one though was Immortals: Phoenix Rising, I think, which is this 3D adventure style game, puzzles, abilities, armor, bit of an RPG element. Did you guys see any of those the games that got
yeah. I've
released?
seen quite a lot of that. It looks pretty good.
It
Looks
looks really
like
good.
Breath of the Wild. Doesn't
Yeah,
look
Ali,
all like
can
Breath
I?
of the
Yeah.
Wild.
You've definitely seen a lot more than me. I've only seen a little bit, but I remember you were quite curious. You were quite interested in that game, actually. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Like, what is it that sold it on you for?
Just, it looks very similar to Breath of the Wild, and I haven't really had an opportunity to play that. And I thought, like, this looks like something I could sort of experience in the same vein. And I had like sort of nice puzzles, and I mean, it's set in like sort of ancient Greece as well. So you've got like your minotaurs and Medusas and all that stuff, and I'm interested in that aspect of it as well. So it looked like a really good, just all round puzzle adventure action safe bet, really.
Yeah, I
No,
agree with you. I think that I definitely agree with you. Breath of the Wild as well. It's like the color scheme is weirdly what reminds me of Breath of the Wild, like the harsh blues and stuff, and the animation. I think it's weird that they brought a similar game out though. suppose Breath of the Wild did well, but I just don't know why they've gone with a similar kind of structure. I'm not complaining, do you know what I mean? I think it looks really good. And Nathan, I wasn't a big fan of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like I liked it, but I just didn't think it was fitting with Zelda's style.
Yeah.
So hopefully this game's more fun. That's what I want. I just want fun games.
Yeah. And like we say, I mean, on this channel, we like the Xbox, we like the PlayStation, we like the Switch. I think the benefits that the Switch, why I like the Switch so much is it does have something that the other consoles don't have. Like I would like to play this game in handheld mostly. If I got time, I'll pull it on that big TV. Why not? But I do like to have games on the Switch. Like I've actually bought games now I've already owned, but because I want it on the Switch, I've bought it again, sort of thing. And that's what the Switch brings. Another big game from that Direct, Adam, that I want to talk about is obviously, it's a game it's already been announced, but that's No More Heroes 3. They've shown, I think the longest trailer now they've shown for it, so we've seen the most of it from this trailer. It looks really cool. The charisma's there. Everything that everyone loved about the original No More Heroes game seems to be there again. And also, they shadow dropped No More Heroes 1 and 2 for the Switch, which is something that I'm very tempted to buy. And like I said before, I've already owned these games before, but I want them on the Switch because I've got the option to play it in bed. I've got the option though to play when I can. Did you guys ever play No More Heroes?
I didn't personally know, but I saw the appeal of it. It looked good. It looked like an interesting game. It is out this year, isn't it? The new one.
That's what they say, yeah.
But it doesn't have a release date.
No, not a number.
That's all we need, yo. Learn from Nintendo, guys. That's it. Give us a year. That's it. 2020.
When it's done,
All right.
just leave it at that.
When it's done, it's done. Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, I thought it was actually a really good Direct, Adam, and it's like I was like you said, it was kind of shadow dropped. It was like, oh, we got a Direct here. Do you want to come watch? I was like, I actually missed it because it was shadow dropped a bit too fucking well, to be honest. But yeah, that was good stuff. But I'm actually going to get my bib now. I'm going to tuck in because I want to hear Anthony's month later review of the Marvel Avengers.
The state of the Avengers now. I haven't even revisited it.
Oh,
So
really?
you don't
I
want
haven't
to
gone
play
back
it.
to it. I've heard it's the well, I mean, the big news was that it's like gone under 1,000 players.
Yeah.
The lowest estimate I've heard is that it was down to like 688 at some points, and it's only been out a really short amount of time. Plus, we've got delays on characters that we're supposed to have by now. We're supposed to have Kate Bishop. We're supposed to have Clint Barton. They're both like Hawkeye characters, and we haven't had them. So it's just not looking very good.
It's not like I think they're also big delays as well because it's not just DLC. Every game is cool to have DLC. Like why not have extra content and stuff? But for a game like Avengers, it relies on these DLCs because it is a game as a service sort of thing. And now people are already grinding and they're already a bit fed up. They're waiting for that next character to come and it's not coming. And also in terms of like business or like in terms of sales for like the next gen consoles, it was perfectly lining up for the next consoles. So you get it was also these characters are coming out on this day, and if you got the next gen consoles, you're getting the graphical update, all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a big loss for them, I think. I mean,
console release has also been delayed as well.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the biggest factor I'm finding is it's the total loss of confidence in them now.
Yeah.
Like if they released like a really stellar, amazing game like Spider-Man or something, if it was on that par and they had these delays, they could get away with it. It'd be like, we've still got an amazing game to play, and like they could sort of make it up by giving you sort of extra points to buy, or like give you new costumes, give you extra costumes to say sorry for the delay. They could get away with it, but at this point, it's like you fucked up the release, and now you're fucking up the DLCs, and it's just. It's draining any little bit of confidence I had left is like,
yeah.
You're right there. They fucked up a lot of things with that game. They fucked up the release. They fucked up making Spider-Man PlayStation exclusive. They fucked up the in-game currency system. They fucked up the actual gameplay by the sounds of it. And now they fucked up those DLC characters. It's just like you can let one or two go, but is there anything they could do now, Anthony, to get you back as a gamer?
I have no idea what they could do.
If they said all characters are free, there's no more in-game purchases, it's all in-game currency or whatever, so you don't have to spend your own money.
But realistic, like.
Well, Gears does that. That's realistic.
No, but I mean for Avengers, because they've always had in-game currency.
But that's not the only thing that's broken with this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, would you be happy if they obviously the in-game currency is a bit ridiculous. It really in my eyes it encourages to spend that real money. But if the in-game currency and the prices for these costumes were realistic, would that be something for okay, because if you could grind this out the same amount you grinded for that Hulk costume, I think it was, but instead you got 5 costumes, that would be quite appealing.
Yeah, that would be more feasible. If you were grinding for a couple of days for a costume.
Yeah, and I think they should do it because to me that's this game needs a lot of fixes, but one of the easiest I think is reboot that shop, stop ripping people off, reboot that shop, and then get it legit so people do want to play your game, because it sounds to me people don't want to play this game, kind of want to get that costume, and then they're too exhausted to get the next.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're trudging your way through the same stage over and over again, or some variant on the same stage. I mean, I think there's 2 bosses in this game. There's just 2, got Taskmaster and Abomination.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 villains you can sort of face. So they need more villains for a start. They need more variations on the stages. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's not we'll just tweak this and this will sort of fix it. It's almost as if they need to sort of start the game again. Not going to do.
I think
it's such
possible.
a shame. I don't think it is. I think it's such a shame that they've done this. I think this is beyond a bad crunch time when we were saying before when games get released and they're just shit on release. This is just a cash grab. It's always been a cash grab, and I think I'm kind of proud the way the gaming community has responded to it. To be honest with you, it's just a shame. It's just a shame it's gone this way. So it had so much potential. So much potential.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have been playing a completely different kind of game than what we usually play. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, you guys?
Do you want to go first? Yeah.
Among Us.
Sus.
Sus. Who's sus? Which one of us is sus?
We're all sus. I think that game it's hit a spot for me. It just feels like that's the sort of game that I wanted to play. I didn't take to
a game that you didn't know you wanted to play, but
play
and it's wow, this is so simple. Oh.
It becomes a bit addictive as well. It's kind of like an RPG in a way, but I'm talking an actual real life RPG. Do you know when people dress up and do stuff it's like that? You can take on a persona in the chat, and you can be a sly, sneaky, dirty guy. You can be a whatever you want. You can be brash. You can be quiet. You can be anything, and it has an impact on the game. It has a big impact on the gameplay, and that's one of the reasons I hesitate to call it a video game, because I don't think I would class it more as an interactive board game. To be honest with you, it's primarily a text game. The tasks, you just click a mouse, or if you're on your phone, you just press the screen. It's not there's any skill there really. It's just a purely tactical game.
The skill is your own personal skill. Exactly. Your ability to lie, your ability to talk your way out of a situation. That's the skill. The in-game mini games are just so simple. It's just connect this wire to this wire and you go.
They're like chores, yeah. But I think that kind of works in for what it is, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, would you say what do you guys think the potential for this game can be? Because in my mind, I mean, I think this game's got a lot of potential. For me, I'm a bit of a different audience than you guys, because I just feel like it needs 1 or 2 things for it to get to that next level. And one of them is releasing it on consoles, and the other is releasing it with a proper in-game voice chat. There's a lot of problems that can come with that. I know that. But having it set up in game, because I see a lot of people, they play in Discord, and then it kind of breaks the game a bit because obviously when you die, you shouldn't know, you shouldn't be able, you can tell the other people who's the killer, and it'll completely just ruin the game, right? Um, but also, like you guys say, I'm like you, Adu, because I played quite a bit of it. I've been a bit of a secret player lately, but playing on my mobile phone, and it's a good game. But I am like you, I don't see it in the same way as games as not what I normally play, but the strength does come from the people playing the game. You know, yourself and the other eight or players in the lobby, and that's where the strength comes from. I just feel like it needs that one step to get a bigger audience. So obviously, we know that releasing games on consoles just help it a lot. It's already growing quite fast. Do
Hmm.
you guys disagree with that?
I don't think they can release it on console, and I don't think it should have voice chat. Your two main points I completely disagree with. On console, because it's too difficult to type your messages, or on the voice chat for the reason that you said. If you want to play it on Discord, that's not the game's problem. Do you know what I mean? That's people doing it to the game. I don't think voice chat would work. In a different style of game, like that game genre on a different game, possibly if it was built around voice chat. But I don't think Among Us is capable of handling that. Like if someone's gonna one person, two people, half the lobby, all the lobby might be on voice chat, but for the one person that's not, it's just gonna be why. For me, I just think why would I go on voice chat when it's much easier deceiving people
Yeah.
through a keyboard.
No, you are right, and this is just like how I think. It's just I feel like the strength of them Among Us will come from. You can play randoms and you can have fun, and obviously you're deceiving people and stuff. But I think playing with like a group of friends, no, with your voice chat, I think having that fun of
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
fibbing. To me, I like to actually like be really good at lying, like just by the sound of your voice, like saying certain things, like proper sneaky. I think I just think there's some things, when you're telling lies, comes across better in person or in voice than it would through like a text message. But I think that's where the strength will come from with the mic, if it's as in-game like kind of lobby systems. Like I mean, the thing is with me, I do like it, but I can't like it any more than I do, it's just because I see it as like I've been playing it on a mobile. I see it as one of those like really fun mobile games, like I don't know what you call it, but the classic one when you got the mobile on top of your forehead and then the room's
mm.
got again. I see it as kind of like that kind of game. Do you know what I mean? As in like it's a kind of like a good party game for people to have a laugh with, and you're gonna have a good fun with it. But in terms of like obviously I'm more, and it's not a bad thing, but for me personally, I'm just more. I need a nice little solid gameplay mechanic attached to it. But I think obviously that goes against what this game kind of strives in. But
I think, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Anthony, but I think this is going to be a big genre for 2021, especially with COVID and lockdown and people wanting something different. Like we saw it with Fall Guys. This is the game that will be a groundbreaking genre, I think, almost to the extent, well, potentially not to the extent of Fortnite, but in the same way that battle royales have burst onto the scene. Whatever this genre of game is, I think this is going to burst onto the scene now. It's. I would like to see, weirdly enough, I'd like to see a competitive gaming version of it, because I think that'd be so interesting to watch. People doing it at such a high level, it just becomes a pure psychological game. Like, imagine there were a bunch of FBI psychological profilers playing that game. How interesting would that be? Like, I think there's so many things you can do with it, and I think you can get really good at it. But my only issue is that maybe I think there should be different game modes, like potentially some sort of teams game. But at the minute, I can't fault it for what it is.
can I just ask you? This is like a noob question, but how can you complete the task?
I've
Like,
never
Yeah.
completed the task. I've
yeah,
never
Oh,
done it.
it
yeah,
never
I've never
happens.
seen it. Like, yeah, I
Never
mean, I
happens.
do them, and then
The game ends. Typically, the game ends before everyone's finished the task. But theoretically, you can do it.
yeah, I
I think
mean,
the tasks, for me, in my experience, they serve more of as a sort of it's something to do while sort of so you can like make out that I'm not the imposter. Like for example, you got the scanner. Like so if you like literally go to people and say, right, I'm not the imposter, follow me to the scanner. They can
Yeah.
literally physically watch you scan. It's like I'm not the imposter.
I had
Yeah.
I did that to someone, and there was like me, one other imposter, and I think 3 guys left. And I said, "Come to the scanner. I'll prove I'm not the imposter." And he followed me. Then I just killed him.
Yeah.
There's another tactic. There's all
Um,
sorts of different tactics.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it's
Not
such a
even
fun game.
like you get like other games where you sort of develop an in-game tactic. Like there's always like an exploit that you can. Other games have like exploits, like
yeah,
Counter Strike with a knife. Like I can run faster if I've got a knife. But this is like the exploit is you. Like
Yeah, yeah.
anything you can think of. Like I exploit people by doing this. Like by what I say and like what I type. This is how I'm exploiting the players. And the whole point of the game is to exploit people.
I think
yeah,
it's just a fantastic mechanic, and I would class it as like one singular mechanic, and it is that it's your personality dictates how that game's gonna go. From the chat in the lobby to like we had when me and Anthony played, we had quite a few guys stay over in our lobby because it was so entertaining. Like it was genuinely like a series of games
yeah.
that we played with guys who were staying, because normally everyone would leave the game after you finished, but you build up a rapport with people, and over a couple of games, you're like, yeah, he's my boy, he's gonna stick with me, and then he kills you, and you're just like, you prick, you absolute prick.
I actually made a guy
Bricks
get
out
really
when you're like your
salty
best
with it.
friend fucking stabs you in the back. You're like, how did you do this to me? Like, I didn't have a choice. Like, I'm sorry.
No, I actually made a guy really salty. Like I was the imposter, and I won the game. And then the next game, I was the imposter again, back to back. So I think we had two of the same people in the lobby from the last game. I think in their minds they were like, "Well, it's not going to be him. It's so unlikely." But it was. Obviously, I was playing the game. Where is I always say though the staple. Where was you at, Blue? I know. And then as soon as you say that, it's in people's heads, and they're not even thinking about it. It's enough to
That's
get
what I
through that
mean.
round. And then at the end, I won again. I won 2 games back to back. And then the guy in the actual no, once the game finishes, you go back to that lobby. He's like, "You're always the imposter," and he left. I was like, "It's not my fault."
It's
But
just that's what I mean. The game is just there's so many different dynamics it can take. Yeah, you will get a lot of games I've found anyway, where you just think, oh, this is boring. The chat's not active. Like people
yeah,
are just voting randomly, but when people actually engage with the game, it is so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
fun. I've laughed honestly. Some of those matches, I was like tears were coming down my eyes when I was saying stuff, and I just think it's just really funny. It's just such a good game.
well, could I just ask one more thing about it? Like, what do you think about in terms of like, obviously, I remember you saying you think it'd be a great streaming game. Do you think that it is going to be a great stream game? Because every time I see, like, I remember I seen big YouTubers play it, and they're always on like Discord or something like that, obviously. And that's where, for me personally, that's what I was saying before. Obviously, it's not everyone's kind of cup of tea, but that's where the fun kind of came from for me. Was no having him talk and lying, and obviously he's up to no good. If it is like a chat based sort of thing, do you think that is good to watch?
Yeah, I think that's good
Okay.
to watch. The bit you're right. Like for streaming, potentially, yeah, you'll need to have a voice chat. I think the fact that it is big on Twitch. In fact, I think it was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the U.S. Congresswomen, who I think it's either the highest ever stream or one of the highest ever streams. She has something like close to 500,000 people watching the stream. Her playing Among Us with other YouTubers and other streamers, and it's just like it's watchable, it's playable, and it's you're in and out of it like that. There's no hassle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, for like obviously, I play on a mobile phone. I think you guys play on Steam, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a difference that will impact it. But like I'll literally be like sat on the table, Cody, my son, and we'll be eating, and I'll have a quick game. Or if I got 15 minutes before work, that's all that pretty much most of the time I play that game has been between something, and it worked and I've had fun. I mean, do you think there is any difference between the mobile and the PC one? Because
Yeah, I think there's a big difference. I don't like playing it on mobile. I've tried. I can't get into it as much.
what is
Messaging is
it?
slower. Just the tasks aren't as fun. Um,
What are the controls like? Because I can imagine the controls being really difficult
yeah, you just touch,
on
I
the
think.
mobile.
There's two. I can't say I've struggled with them personally, but there's two. There's one when you can just You put your finger on the screen, and it'll follow your finger. Or the other one when it's like a digital kind of analog, and then you kind of move it. But I think because the gameplay is the way it is, it doesn't hurt it too much. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, I disagree with you. It does hurt it. It does hurt it a lot.
The
You think you
computer
need
has a
them
similar
quick
system.
times?
The
What's
computer
that,
does.
Sid?
The computer has a similar system where you can use the arrows to move around or the WASD to move around instead. Or you can just use the mouse. And I just tried the mouse control and it was like horrible because like when you're in the imposter, like you have to stop and like press the button to kill someone. And like by the time you've done that, they've moved, and it's like I just found it really awkward to play. So I just used the arrows and mouse.
I mean, when I was the killer, I just used the analog, and then you tap it with your other thumb, no, like a pad, I guess. But
I would
don't know.
recommend, Nathan. It's £4, I think. I would recommend getting it on Steam and playing it on that, even if just for a few games, just so you can see the difference. It's hard to vocalize what I'm thinking, but I don't enjoy playing it on my phone. In fact, I deleted the app, but I'll still play it on my PC or my laptop.
I mean, just like before we like go to the next one, like what would you guys personally like from this game as next update? Is it that ranked mode? Is it that ranked mode you want?
I'd love to see a rank mode in that game,
Okay,
and
please.
I would love to see different
Chores,
different modes. No, chores.
Okay.
Yeah, new chores obviously would keep it more interesting. There's 3 maps, but different modes. Maybe 2 teams with 2 separate imposters, and only one team can vote for the other imposter. Or do you know? Say you're in Team A and Team B, and Team B are trying to say to Team A, it's this guy, and Team A can vote off someone random, or they can vote off that guy, and if you get their imposter, you win. You know, you've got to try and hide it while they're killing their own team. Like, I don't know, to be honest with you, but I'd like to see something mixed up with that. What about you, Anthony?
Have you ever seen The Thing?
No,
Yeah.
I know
The
of it.
film The Thing. Like, it reminds me of that. I imagine maybe a campaign, sort of, not a full-on campaign, but maybe like a sort of that kind of thing where it's sort of like the games are normally only they could last between like they could last 30 seconds, they could last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but like maybe a sort of a campaign type thing where you sort of like working to like get that last guy, maybe some form of some way of like maybe getting it out, dragging the matches out longer.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but I feel that one of the big issues I've had is like a game can just finish in like seconds, and it's like, and that's dependent on who you're playing it with.
Yeah.
You need to find some way of like. One of the things that really annoys me is people get like pissed off when they die, or they're pissed off with the role they play, so they just quit, and that ends the game for everyone. So maybe there's like, I don't know, maybe there's like maybe you can only quit after a certain amount of time, or once you're in the game, you like sort of have to lock in to play it, and the only way to get out is just turn the game off totally, and like you get penalised for that possibly.
Ranked.
Yeah.
Get so ranked on the go. I want to see a team of psychologists or some sort of behavioural scientist people playing that game with each other and trying to suss at each other out. Brown's sus, yo. Brown's sus, man. Brown's always sus, yo. But no, it was. It's a great game. I think there's a lot of potential, and the genre itself will go quite far.
Yeah, so you think it's just best for it to stay on Steam going forward? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair enough. Is there any other games you guys wanted to talk about?
I played the new Watch Dogs.
Sorry, that was it. Yeah, I'm so
Mm.
sorry. I did forget about that. Yeah, I am actually really looking forward to this. I don't have any kind of interest in the last 2. I saw them come out. I thought they looked okay, but for some reason, this Watch Dogs looks extremely fun for me.
Is it because it's in London?
I think that helps because the only Assassin's Creed I played after the original 2 was the one in England, so maybe it is, yeah. But I think, but like joking aside, I think that honestly, it's the amount of people you can have. Like you can just pick up people off the streets, and they've all got their own personality and abilities and stuff like that. What I've heard. Can you like explain what you played? Because I am I am thinking of getting it. I'll be honest.
I'm only maybe 5 hours into it, and
Hmm.
so far I'm having a lot of fun. And there's
Yeah,
that I just said about being able to just recruit people off the street. That's actually really cool.
yeah.
Just like finding random people. And like one fun thing to do is like you hire like a grandma. You can find like a granny on the street. And, like, like
That's
you
my
recruit
favorite.
some random granny, and like you literally have to play as a granny. Like sort of, she can't sprint, and she can't sneak or anything. She's just like waddling around like. And
Mm.
Her
so
animations
that
were
sense of
great.
realism is quite fun.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, like it's like the gameplay looks there for me, but yeah, from what you just said, then I kind of got to agree because it's like with the granny, her animations were so good. Like, you know, when she jumps over like a railing, she literally has to do it like the slow, clunky way. Like she gets a whole body behind it. Or when she tasers someone, it's literally like someone who's struggling to hold the taser while they fall down. I think the animations are spot on. Hopefully, it's like that throughout all characters. That would be pretty cool.
got that spot on, but I do feel I'm worried that it's going to get quite tiresome quite quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah, I think that's fair.
it suffers from like a lot of the other Ubisoft games are suffering. Like
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, where it's like do the same mission, sort of
Right.
do the same mission, variant of same mission. Do that for like collect this, go and collect this, and Far Cry had the same thing, and this is suffering from the same
Yeah.
kind of issues. I find at the
Yeah.
moment I'm having fun, but I'm only 5 hours in, and I'm worried.
Yeah, that is a
In
concern.
20 hours, I'm going to be like, it's the same mission. I'm getting bored of this, and I'm not sure if being able to just recruit people off the street is going to be enough of a big enough gimmick to hold me. I mean, there's only so many times you can laugh at a granny just like,
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
bodyguard. Like, so
No,
I
at the
think
okay.
moment, I'm having fun. I'll be able to sort of, be able to say more further on. But that's just a sort of initial assessment of it. I only got it yesterday, I think. So
Right.
5 hours in a day though, that's a hefty sash. That it must have done something right.
yeah, I suppose there is that. I mean, I was compelled. I mean, I definitely had that. I mean, this was like in the early hours in the morning as well. So I was like, I need to go to bed, but like, it was keeping me,
Yeah, that's a
definitely
good
keeping me
time.
playing. Like, I'll just do this. I'll just do this. I'll just do this. So
I do
that's
get
it
what you're
for the moment.
saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying there about like repetitiveness. I think that's the biggest issue with the games industry in general for me at the minute, like across all different types of games, like open world games. Yeah, when you look at GTA or Red Dead, go here, drive the car here, kill that person, pick up the package, drop it off there. It's just you've got really a handful of missions that you're just repeating. Um, but I hope this is why I'm worried about Cyberpunk as well. And I hope it kind of it keeps the missions different. It keeps them unique. You're doing different mechanics and different things to keep it interesting.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that CD Project Red still on form, because Witcher obviously I didn't feel like that with Witcher, right?
I did.
Hopefully. Oh, okay. I thought the side quests were the best thing of the whole game.
I agree, but for me it was story driven more than gameplay driven.
Right.
I wanted to
Okay.
know
Oh,
more about
'cause
the
the
lore.
game mechanic. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a fair argument actually. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait another 21 days for that game, so we'll see when that comes out.
Maybe.
Uh, yeah. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about before we send off?
Uh, has anyone played the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima? What is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Ghost of
No,
Tsushima
I've not played
Legends.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I,
No. No. Sorry. You said you not played it, Anthony, didn't you?
no, and I checked out earlier today, basically for this video,
Yeah.
and I've no idea why I'm not playing it. I played Ghost of Tsushima, the main game, and I loved it. It's a beautiful game, and the game it's just I couldn't recommend it any more than I can. And I just checked out Legends, and it looks like it's totally sort of expanded on it. You've got all the stuff that made the main game amazing, and like added to it with like a new story, and you've got these different classes of character, and there's like genuine teamwork to. I mean, it's like when you're playing the main game, it's like you basically on your own trying to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
This is like imagine that, but you've got like your best friend next to you, like, and you're just trying to achieve that goal with your friend, and it just looks really good. Actually, ironically, it looks like what the Avengers should have done.
in a free update as well. Like you gotta remember this. This is a free
Yeah, yeah,
update.
yeah.
Oh, like it to be. I've heard positive things from it myself, and coming from someone who hasn't played the single player, but thinks it looks like a good game. Yeah, this is a free update. I've heard positive things from it. It just seems like a win-win situation. But yeah, I'm surprised you've not played Anthony. Shame on you.
I think I don't agree with Nathan. I agree with Andy. It looks like a good game. Cause shame on me as well. I've not played it either. But I think that was a game again that the story, the gameplay, the design of it kept it going strong. And I'm really glad to see this. And hopefully we'll try and get some co-op games in over the next couple of weeks, Anthony. Maybe see if we can stream them on Twitch as well. But I'd definitely be keen to play it. I've just not got round to it at the minute, which is a shame because the game was so good.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. I just sort of, I checked out earlier today and thought, I've got Ghost of Tsushima. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is there waiting for me. I'm like sort of wasting my time with stuff like the Avengers, and it's like this is right there. And like you said, Nathan, about this is basically what Avengers should have done. But this is a free update. Like, why like a big, massive backed game like that can't do what this did as a free thing? And even the way like you get like the cosmetics and the leveling up systems, like this is how it's supposed to be done. Like
Yeah.
you do challenges and you kill a certain amount of enemies and you do missions to get your equipment and you level it up like the right way just by playing the game.
Yeah. That is. Yeah. That's the way to do it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's night and day when you compare like a game like Avengers and you compare like that update, which is, to be honest, I honestly thought it was going to be about like 14.99 or something before it got like when it got announced. So this is one of the other positive things that Sony do. Like they
Probably could have got
bring
away
it with
with it as
their
well.
big IPs, man. What's that say?
They probably could get away with it. Like
Yeah, they
if
could.
this was like a 14.99 DLC, I'd be like, oh, that's a bit shitty, but I'd probably pay it and I'd
Some
probably
people
play
would
it.
buy. Yeah,
I'd
some
be
people
happy.
would buy it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do smash it. They look after their IPs so hard. Most of the time anyway. Like they do such a good job, I think. And that's just Sony for you. I think they're on top of stuff like that. But yeah, that is something. Hopefully, we can get your impressions on that on the next recap, maybe or something like that. That'll be really interesting. But for now, I think we talked about October. It was a pretty packed month, pretty exciting month. I think next month is more exciting. Can't wait. Yeah, we got the launch of 2 next gens coming. But yeah, we will have to see how that pans out. But yeah, this has been Start Select recap of October, and we'll see you in the next video. And for now, GG, guys.
GG's.